Hey everybody, welcome to this video. What I'm going to show you here is a game changer for Ableton 12, and it's also a game changer for people who struggle with chords and chord progressions and things like that. Now, somebody like me, I can play a lot of chords, but some of the chords in here are absolute dynamite, and it's changed my perspective on how I'm going to make tracks in the future. And I'm going to show you now how to use it and a couple of ways of, getting around things and stuff. So it's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So as you can see, I've got a little demo here, and I've got this preset called Neon Heaven, and it's just a simple sound, and it goes like this. I'm just going to take the expressive chord off first and play the sound like this, single notes. Just a standard synth. You can play it with chords. However, it's just a bit bland, isn't it? However, when you put the expressive chord plugin on, which you can download from the packs or go to the Ableton website, which is where I went. Download it and insert it into your pack section, and it's got the MIDI files, and it's also got the expressive chords here, which is the different preset things. The MIDI files, basically what you do in the MIDI files is if you put it on, it just shows you all of the different chords, and you can chop them up, and you've got to mess about with it and blah blah blah. So let's say, for example, you're making your own track like I've done here, right? And I've got this Neon Heaven sound, and I've put in there expressive chords here, right? And I'm going to play single notes like this, look, and you'll hear this. So it plays lots of different chords. All those different squares on the grid represent a chord. So that's G sharp minor 7. That's F minor 7. A sharp with an add 9. F sharp major 7. Really complex chords, and they're ideal for people who just struggle. So I've made a little demo here, look, and if you look at this, I've just played 4 notes in total, right, on there, look, 4 notes, an F, a D sharp, an A sharp, and an F sharp, and it goes like this. Perfect. So if I was to take those notes and I wanted those chords for my track, what I would do is I would get another instrument. In this case, I've got the Rhodes. Go to session view, change MIDI from all in to Neon Heaven, which is the first sound, and I want to get those chords taken down. There might be another way to do this, but this is how I've worked out how you can do this. And then press record. And then what that does is it transfers it over into another MIDI file with all the chords actually broken up, so you can see exactly what notes are played in that chord if you wanted to get quick with it. And then obviously from there on, there you go, look, perfect. So then obviously layer that with the sound, so you could use that. But as I say, if you wanted to just do singular notes on any sort of sound and then transfer it that way, you get the chord, and then you can learn about the chords themselves, and then you can develop, right, so this here is an F sharp, so put the F sharp bass line on that, and then the G sharp, etc. So that's one way of doing it. There might be another way, as I say. You can grab the chords from within there, but I don't prefer to do it. So the expressive chords themselves, you've got all these different presets, loads of them, and in these you can just drag them onto whichever sound you want to use. So I've got this string down here, look, normal string from the packs again. But what I want to do is I want to kind of get some sort of late soul on that. So let's put late soul on that one, right? And in there you've got all these, look. So if we play one singular note now on the string, let's go up an octave. Oh man. Beautiful. So you wanted to make a track and just say, right, okay, I want to use the keys of A, C sharp, A minor, and just work out what sounds good to you, or just find a chord progression online like A minor, A, C, G, and then find the notes on there and have more complex A, C, G in it, if that makes sense. They're just brilliant, aren't they? So as you say, you get the idea. So you've got that, and then on top of that, you want to make a track. So let's just make a quick drum and bass track on here and just loop this and just go. And you can develop your track from there, you know, so that sound there just gives off that old school sort of ravey sort of sound. And then you want to do something a bit more housey, just go back down to your 120 something and just go. So one more thing that you can do with the Rhodes here is you can turn the strum up like this, look. So it's flat now. So right now it's flat, look, just straight flat chords. Turn the strum up, makes it more humanized, and articulate it so you can have it more melodic, spread out. Just gives it more texture. So yeah, that's just a few things that you can do with the expressive chords in Ableton 12. Absolute game changer. Brilliant. Ideal for those who struggle with chords, you know, and combining complex chords. And also it's ideal for people that know what the chords are and but they want to, you know, try something different. And you can really throw these things together and come up with some whole new style of production. You know, your songs can take a whole new direction, whether you make soul, hip-hop, R&B, house, whatever. You can grab any of those expressive chords and start experimenting with them quite easily, you know, like so. So it's a great little, brilliant. I love it. It's one of the best things that Ableton have done for me in a long time. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.